Today's Cardinal Lesson is about your retirement income and savings and making sure that if you live to a ripe old age that your money lasts as long as you do. So, first point we're going to talk about is when you get into retirement or you're right at retirement, to stop chasing return and start managing risk. And what I mean by that is when you've been accumulating savings during retirement while you were working, you always had the chance to add more. And so really the only thing that you had to evaluate was how much are you gaining, how much are you making, what's your percentage gain, and that was important. And it's still important, but it's not the only thing. What we've got to do in retirement or right at retirement is we've got to start managing risk. And a lot of folks, when I say risk, they just think, well, that's the risk of losing your money, and that is it in simple form. But there's a number of different types of risk that we're concerned about as financial planners, and when somebody comes to us to do financial planning, we're looking at all these, and we're trying to balance their investments in such a way that we're on the high and the low end with some of these. I mean, with potential of high returns comes high risk, okay? And so, you know, when I'm talking about other types of risk, they're listed on the top of this grid, and then coming down here are all the different things that you can put your money in. And this grid is on page 71 in my workbook. And we just recopied it here for today's session. So, you know, and a lot of folks, when they think investment, they just think stocks. And they think investing in mutual funds, stocks, baskets of stocks. And, you know, that's just one place. And that's where a lot of folks have had their money during their working years. And so that's not going to go away, but that might become a lesser portion of the money that we have invested. We got bonds, we got a couple different types of annuities, we got bank certificates of deposit. A lot of retired folks put their money in here, and the yields on those have gotten extremely low, creating high inflation risk. Cash and money market. A lot of this old CD money is just sitting in people's checking accounts now. Gold and commodities. There's a lot of folks that are susceptible to these gold selling people, and just there's a place for a small percentage of your money in commodities and then options. So the whole point with all of this is that when you're in retirement, you can't afford to lose your money or lose a percentage of it or a significant percentage all at once, because you don't have time to make it up. It's very unnerving to people, very scary to people. So we try to balance a person's investments, what we recommend to them, in such a way that they've got some safe stuff, they've got some amount of risky stuff. That is, if they want to take the risk. Again, we don't want to get into a situation where they're up in their 80s and they're starting to run out of money. So, and we do generally, to create an income, we need to rob some principal on an income plan. So then it becomes a math equation of how much can you do based upon how the performance is on all of this. So we take the point of income taxes, and a lot of folks start here. I'm going to recommend that we start at risk, and we look at managing risk and the trade-offs with risk and return, and then we're going to look at income tax. It's still an important factor, but a lot of folks will start here and they get all happy about an investment they don't have to pay taxes on, or somehow they're avoiding them. And so, and with income taxes, we got really two types in the income tax system. We have ordinary income tax. That's what you file every year, and most folks are accustomed to paying. Most of their income has been taxed at ordinary income tax. Capital gains taxes are preferable, if it's possible, because they're delayed until you sell whatever investment and you've earned a capital gain, and they're also a much smaller rate. And if investments are held with the capital gain built up in them until a person's death, the beneficiaries receive that, and they're really not going to owe any capital gains taxes. So that's a consideration. Now, when we're looking at all these types of investments, we really have three states that they can be in. It's currently taxable. That's where, you know, where you're just earning the money. It's not any type of special account, and at the end of every year, they add it up, they send you a 1099, and you pay the taxes. Tax deferred, which that means that the taxes are accumulating, you're just not having to pay them. So you can earn interest over interest over interest on the unpaid tax, but sooner or later you got to pay the piper. And the example of that would be a traditional IRA or perhaps an annuity. Tax-free is a Roth IRA or can be life insurance. So these are factors depending upon how money is held. In many of these things, you can hold these investments in a particular type of account that will state how their taxable situation is. And then a final point here on taxes is your income taxes on your Social Security are determined. So if you don't have any other investment income or other income, you're not going to have any taxes on your Social Security. Your tax is going to be zero. If you have substantial other income besides your Social Security, you're going to get taxed as much as 85% of your Social Security will incur some income taxes. So that's a factor to consider with investments. So I wanted to just mention my books that are available at our website, cardinalguide.com. This is our phone number. I'm Hans Scheil, and I thank you for listening.